In January 2016, Compass International School held a special day to raise awareness of road safety. One of the things we learned about was how to be safe when riding your bike. We used as the starting point of our investigation. Mr. Patton asked us to pick a bike helmet online. We chose bike helmets because of the way they looked, not how safe they were. We wondered, do all of our pupils wear bike helmets when riding their bikes, treks, or scooters? If they don't wear a bike helmet, then why? What makes people choose a bike helmet? How do bike helmets work? What materials are best for making bike helmets? We wanted to know if pupils wore bike helmets. We used a website called SurveyMonkey that people could answer questions anonymously. We hoped that if people didn't feel pressured to give their names, then they would be more honest. The results were 30% of pupils always wear a bike helmet, 25% of pupils sometimes wear a bike helmet, 45% of pupils never wore a bike helmet. So how could we use science to show how important it is to wear a bike helmet? Our first job was to think about how we would investigate this. Obviously, it is too dangerous to use real people, so we had to come up with something that would work the same as human head. We thought about using melons, but to make our results accurate, we would need to test it lots of times, and we would need lots of melons. We came up with the idea of using raw eggs instead. The shell is like the skull, and it's also the same shape. It was easy to use lots of eggs too. When we then thought about what materials we would test, we also needed a control. We got this by dropping an unprotected egg into a hard surface from a height of 1 meter. This represents someone having an accident, not wearing a bike helmet. If the egg cracked, then that meant that an injury had happened. The egg broke every time. We then tested other materials. We chose the different materials by predicting how absorbent they would be when the egg hit the floor. To make our testing fair, they had to be the same thickness each time and drop from a height of 1 meter. The material that protected the egg most consistently was modeling putty. We then wanted to find out the minimum thickness of putty that would stop the egg from breaking. We tested using 4 thickness, and we only covered the top part and sides of the egg, as that is same as a bike helmet. We would drop the eggs from 1 meter so that our testing was still fair. Our prediction was that 20 millimeters would stop the egg from breaking, as that was the thickness and would provide the most protection. Our results were different. Thickness that stopped the egg from breaking most often was 10 millimeters. When we looked at the video results again, we realized that the thicker layers bounced more than the egg would break after it had bounced. If this happened when you had an accident wearing a bike helmet, then a bouncy material for a bike helmet could injure your neck.
To understand this, see what happens when you drop a tennis ball. As the tennis ball hits the floor, it causes a downward force on the floor. This is the action. The floor reacts by pushing on the ball with the same force, but in the opposite direction. Action, reaction.
We needed something that would absorb the impact, not break the egg, but not bounce back. When we researched online and studied bike helmets, we found that the outer part of bike helmets are made from 2 materials, a hard outer shell and a soft inner liner. We then tried to replicate this using more than one material. We needed something that would break and then we could easily put back together. The design that worked best was Lego. We made Lego helmet and secured it to the egg using glue tack. This was our most successful design. The helmet would break and the egg did not bounce. The force of the impact was absorbed by the Lego. How do we share the findings from our investigation? We have shown this video to the whole school at assemblies. We have also shared it on the Compass International School Facebook page and Twitter page. We also shared links to all of our parents on tips when choosing a bike helmet and online review sites so they could find out how safe their children's bike helmets are. We hope that our findings will make Qatar's next generation safer.